I think what happened one time. Oh, really?
Well, he tries to convert everybody, which.
You gotta hit them with that new cane.
I think what's really important is for especially men who are newly diagnosed to see the fact that there are a whole bunch of us who are alive
Right.
and having a life and happy and loving many, many years after diagnosis. I think that's a really important thing. So your being here, my being here, with that alone is a really important message to our new colleagues.
Now, you're a new colleague. You're still in the process of sorting
Why
out.
don't you come on up?
Yeah, recently diagnosed and just learning about it. Just I went to my urologist and he says surgery. And then when I started looking at things, I didn't realize there were so many choices and so many options. So, and surgery may be the right choice. Before I do that, I just want to know that I did my due diligence, and like you said, to feel comfortable with it. At the moment, I don't think I'm comfortable with it yet.
Then don't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I feel. Because again, he said, nope, you should have surgery before. And at that time, like I said, I took, okay, that's it. And then I started reading the books and started educating myself, and was like, wait a minute, if I do that, I better learn what's out there. That's what I'm doing now.
Good for you.
Good.
Good for you.
Good.
Good. I appreciate your talk, great attitude, and it's great. 'Cause I'm just going through like, kind of
You're in the hardest place.
Yes.
Yeah.
The hardest place.
Yes.
But you will break through. Everybody breaks through. And no one can tell you how long it's going to take. And there's no magic formula. But one day you're going to wake up and you're going to know what you have to do. And until you do that, assuming your numbers allow, I don't know your numbers, but
Yeah.
you should take advantage of that and do that. Because as I said, there's no should have goes.
Right.
Okay? That's,
No,
but
that-
you will get there. It's hard to understand. It feels very frustrating, and it's all fretful of all sorts of feelings.
Right.
And there's so much to absorb.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's no good or right
And,
or
and the thing
correct
is, as you
clear
absorb
answers.
some, you discover more to absorb, and you keep
That-
adding on to it.
That's exactly
And
what
the
it is.
biggest problem you'll have is deciding, okay, now's the time to pull the trigger.
Right. Exactly. Because every time I'm close, and it's just like, think this is it. And all of a sudden, I discover
Right.
something else, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, not quite there yet. And it's frustrating.
No, it's kind of, again, I had 22 separate consultations of different disciplines, the whole
Really,
bit.
22?
22 separate doctors that I
22
went,
steps up,
right, that I went through.
You're on the street, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's, no question
No,
about
no,
that.
I mean, I needed to actually hear that, because I feel like,
No,
I'm not like,
I kept 3-ring binders full of information. I wanted to write a book from all that information, but ultimately it came down to the point where I was in a support group, and I saw a guy who had just come out of surgery the week before. And I saw him, and I said, he looks good. Because in my mind, I'm conjuring up, somehow or another, he's going to be debilitated or whatever.
right.
But I see this guy, he's standing there, he's looking great. He's like, he's healthy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it's not so bad. And that was my moment to say, okay, now's the time to pull the trigger.
But there's the other side of the coin, though, and I hesitate to, I don't want to freak you out, but there's also the 30,000 dead guys. You know?
Yeah.
And like for this PSA thing, for the USPTF, so we got the 50, 60 pictures and all that. We got a couple of deathbed pictures. One you saw, which will be the cover for our submission. The reason we're here, aside from the morbidity issues, is people die.
Right.
And there's some point, active surveillance, 99% of active surveillance is to have a tripwire and know when to pull the trigger in advance, just
Right.
to get to the precipice of where you no longer have the opportunity to extend your life. And we all sort of face that, what is my tripwire? do I lay that line? You may do treatment right away because you just don't want to deal with it anymore.
But on the positive side, you should be congratulated.
Yeah.
Congratulated from the standpoint that you've taken the reins and you're steering the horse,
Thank
okay?
you.
And not a lot of people do that.
Yeah, it's, like, I just wanna know, okay, I said I did my due diligence, no, I'm from upstate, I still make the trip here, and believe me, it's no not where I live. I said, I'm coming here no matter what. And my wife was the first, oh, I didn't know it's snowing, I said, don't worry, I'll be fine. And, it's just, it's hard. It's really hard. 'Cause even like, I think I'm leaning a little bit to surgery, but then it's like, is it open or robotic? And then, and then it's also trying to find what's true information or what's just marketing.
Right.
Even that alone is driving me crazy. Then I started reading, leading to surgery, then I started reading some of the proton therapy. And this book, the guy wrote this book, I think, in 2007, it's a little old, but he says it's the best thing ever. And then Dr. Katz, he was running out. I said, this guy is one person. Like he said, be careful with that.
Yeah, be very careful with that.
Is that true?
Again, it's a marketing gimmick. I mean, it's a case where proton therapy has a place in radiation, but it's really been done primarily in head and neck cancers in terms of having really proven benefit. The same benefits have not been shown in prostate cancer. And it shows, and it has a great marketing hype behind it, and has a very big price tag associated with it. It has no proven benefit in terms of extended survival, reduction in complications, anything else.
Really? So.
And if you wanted to go just to regular IMRT radiation, you'd have as equally a good a result in the hands of a good center than you would with proton beam.
Really?
And probably save yourself about $85,000.
Around marketing or something.
I'm sorry, that other kind of radiation, but I do.
IMRT. What they do is that instead of having a single beam, you have many tiny beams. You control the depth of the beam, where it goes. You're able to more contour the tumor attack better than just having one single beam that just hits the whole area.
So like you said, that radiation would be just as effective, maybe better
Yeah.
than proton.
Right.
First thing, and then
Right.
you said there's no, like someone.
There's no benefit advantage with proton.
Really?
But the guys that do the proton are like the biggest evangelists for it.
Right.
And it was interesting when
Because they do a great job of marketing.
right, well, the marketing thing, I mean, one thing men do, I think, we're evangelists for the things we own. I mean, I love my new iPhone, as you
Right.
saw 5 minutes ago. I love my Subaru Forester,
But again,
which I'll go for a
and
ride.
the thing is that,
And we love the treatments.
have you ever
we
known a
chose.
guy to own up to the fact that he bought a lemon as a car?
Bought a well, I bought a.
Have you ever,
Triumph
have you ever had a
Spitfire.
guy own up to the fact that he bought, and he
Yeah.
said, I bought a lemon of a car?
But I don't
Yeah.
share it with other men.
Well, okay, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Guys will take ownership of things, but they'll never admit to the really bad things that they invested in.
Yeah, but that's the
Yeah, but
problem
that's
he
getting on the edge
faces,
of
that
should
he's
we
gotta
go
talk.
back?
Right, but I should
Yeah.
just, in terms of Mass General, which is one of the premier places for proton beam for head and neck, their protocol actually calls for IMRT first for head and neck, IMRT and then. So you do a week of the IMRT and then you go for your proton. So they're not, they're even saying and we have a friend who's actually there right now this minute, and a young cousin who's doing her fellowship now in that department. And, they're very hopeful that this is gonna be a terrific thing, but at the moment, they're not even pushing it for.
Yeah, but aside from the IMRT thing, and you're not gonna figure out your treatment today.
No.
I mean, perhaps another difference between men and women, I mean, when women talk about their disease and who's treating them, they sort of share like, well, maybe you ought to, I did this doctor, but I saw my mother do this around breast cancer. I did this doctor, but maybe you ought to speak to that other doctor, too. While we generally will say, Dr. Katz is #1. That's his herbal thing is great,
Yeah.
proton guys are insane around the proton treatment. Everybody loves, there's the Dr. Ferrari lovers versus the Sue Slogan lovers. There's this whole thing. And that's the challenge for you as a newly diagnosed guy, even within a support, even in, I think, the greatest support group network in the country, the male care things. Our group leaders are sort of cautioned, watch out for the evangelist guys, because the newly diagnosed guys will not understand that there's a bill of goods that you have to read into. You have to, ultimately, the unique one of the many unique aspects of prostate cancer is, you're really, as Joel said, you're the boss, you're the CEO of your body, and you're going to live the consequences of the choices you've made, not the guys in the group who feel strongly and powerfully, and you may buy into that because it's a guy rather than an MD, but it's still something that you have to grok and saute in your head over time. And it's guys in the Gleason 9s or 8s and 9s that don't have the luxury of time that you do. And even they'll start giving you a different, bill of goods around their treatment. As opposed to women, which is it's a different kind of support group.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting gender dichotomy. But you're not alone.
No.
Yeah, no,
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit group.
I wanted to say two things. I think the guys proselytizing about the proton beam and stuff, maybe because it gives them hope. They feel it's something new and it's something that type of thing. And they may be enthusiastic about it because when you get a diagnosis like that, getting treatment makes you feel, hey man, they want it to work.
I got the newest and best thing, and that somehow they got the advantage on it
People want
too.
to believe that what they're doing is the best thing that could be done. So I don't think that it's anything egocentric or malicious. I think it just makes them feel better. The way that I look at the issue of treatment as a physician, in terms of trying to choose a treatment, I always try to look at what the most innocuous treatment is and try that first. If there's time to do that, and say, okay, what has the least potential of causing harm and the greatest potential of causing good, and I try to rank the things in terms of, well, let's try the least harmful thing first. That's the way that I make therapeutic decisions.
As opposed to my surgeon who said, I'm a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
At least he was honest.
Well, he was honest.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, at the end of these things, just to wrap things up here,
Thank you, John.
we always sit down and evaluate, okay, was this event successful? And I think there are those people that would look around and count the empty chairs and say, nope, not too successful. Then you hear stories about the employee that works at the Kimmel Center here, out in the hallway a little while ago, said, I was listening to the information, and what do I need to do to go out and get tested?
Well, according to
That's
the
success.
preventive services, this was a failure then.
That's success.
Yeah, this guy just said, where do I go to get a test?
And you can count all the reasons and all the excuses why all these chairs aren't filled. And yeah, it's disappointing because I think those people that aren't filling those chairs have missed out. They missed out on a lot of good information. Okay? But stories like that, really make you feel good for what you do. So with that, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you for putting
Enjoy
this
the
together.
snow.
Thank you.